Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO has finally made her in-ring debut in AEW. Now, leading up in this feud, we have been telling y'all that we have not been too impressed with Mercedes Moné's mic work. So
Yeah.
before I get in and tell y'all what I thought about her match in this in-ring debut, I'm going to ask my partner here, Mr. Valentine, did Mercedes Moné live up to the hype, and did she make that ticket AEW paid worth the money?
I think Brian, who's not here today because he's moving, he's busy, might have been the one that liked her the least. I'm not sure, but I really didn't
Oh
just
yeah, he cooks
like,
her.
yeah, like anything that she's been doing ever since she left the WWE. The way she left the WWE was also something that I didn't agree with. It felt like a little bit of
You know,
a Jeff Hardy move. You know what I mean?
yeah,
What?
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's just like or a CM Punk move. I think that might be more up
Ooh.
your alley right there. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, just her stuff in New Japan, like it just wasn't hitting. All the storylines, the promos wasn't exactly what I wanted out of her. And when she came to AEW again, it was just like her promos were so weird. Her cadence, her timing, everything about it was just weird. Like, what's going on? I guess WWE really protected her in many ways when presenting her, and that's why we liked her. But then, when I thought about that, I remembered that, like, on the main roster, I wasn't a big fan of her, anyways. And, like, back when she was wrestling in NXT, that's when I was, like, loving Sasha Banks, especially NXT TakeOver Brooklyn times. And I gotta be honest, everything was just down, 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 down for me and for everybody else. I think Willow Nightingale was just like really benefiting from this way more than Mercedes Monet ever did.
Absolutely.
But then that bell rang at Double or Nothing, and I gotta say, I gotta give it to her, man. Besides the finish, I loved everything else about the match. Like, this is all right. This was good. It was a good match. She really, did everything with Willow to give us a good match, and I enjoyed it for sure. But I mean, she had to do that weird finisher to Willow, and like even when she first tried to do that finisher, I think it was Kairi Sane at the time. She was Kairi
Hmm.
Hojo in the Indies and New Japan or something like that. They botched the finisher, like it was just cursed from the beginning. And even if she does it well, I just think it's a move that doesn't make sense, that doesn't look good. She needs to change that finisher, in my humble opinion, to something cooler or something easier to do, maybe. Because that's the only thing I didn't like about the match. The finisher wasn't as snug, as impactful as it should have been, especially because Willow is going to lose to that move. And, you're
Hmm.
trying to make her look as strong as you're trying to make her look. But yeah, it's sad, man. We all talked about this too, her taking the title from Willow maybe wasn't the time or anything like that. How do you feel? Do you think she earned this title, or do you think it's too early to pull the trigger for a move like this from AEW, Kenny?
Well, kiddo, Mr. Valentine, you know how I feel about it. Julia Hart had this championship
Oh
before
yeah,
Willow.
oh
I
yeah,
hate it. I hate that she had to drop it, but you know what? I get it. Julia was injured. She had to go out and have surgery, so she had to drop the title. And to be honest with you, I would much rather have her drop it to Willow than Mercedes Moné. Always told y'all Sasha Banks was number 3 when it came to the 4 horsewomen. I won't run down the list for y'all right now, but Sasha Banks was always number 3 for me, and that was because of her promo work. If you ask me, she owns the match, like the best women's match of all time. I think her and Bayley in NXT, they definitely have that. So there's never been a problem in the ring. Uh,
no,
Leading up to this match with the promos, I think she was overshadowed by Willow, and she's like a girl from the Indies. She's not known for these crazy promos, but I think she actually stepped up to the plate and she delivered
for
and she
sure.
helped get this feud to where it needed to be before we got to this match. But when that bell rang, Mercedes Moné, whatever she wants to call herself, she showed us where she shines, and I think the match was great. Now, was it the best match of all time? Absolutely not, but
Mm.
it was a good match. And you just pointed out the fact that you didn't like her finisher. I think it's actually impressive. I don't
Okay,
mind it at all. I
okay,
understand she can botch it, but it's impressive when she can get a girl Willow's size. Not saying anything bad about Willow because she's definitely a thick woman and she's a beautiful woman. I don't think she's bad at all. Willow, you can call me if you want to after this. But she got her on her back and she didn't, like, her knees didn't buckle, her knees didn't shake. She delivered the finisher.
true.
So I thought it was. Now Willow's bigger than her, of course, so it wasn't a perfect flip over. But I was like, if you think back in the days, they said Vince McMahon would ask the wrestlers, Could you do this to the Big Show? No. Well, you can't use that as a finisher. She showed she can kind of do this to the biggest woman in AEW, so I think it's a good finisher for her. So I don't mind it at all. Now, as far as the shenanigans after the match and where these women are going, I was mad when the finish came up because I thought Willow should have won this match for one because you
Yeah.
just made her like flat out straight up a transitional champion.
Yep.
We're not going to give it to Mercedes yet, even though Julia Hart's injured. We'll put it on Willow first so they can get into this match and then we'll have Mercedes take it off. I don't think that looked good for Willow, so you needed to give her something else when this match ended. And I think what they did was perfect. When they were all huggy and lovey at the end and they showed Willow walking out with Chris Statlander, I was like, oh, well, I mean, here we go. Now Willow's off TV. But they did the thing where Chris Statlander got the turn. And I think Chris Statlander needed something, and you needed something else for Willow coming out of this. So I think everything kind of played out the way you would expect it to, but they actually gave Willow something instead of just leaving her in the
True.
dust.
And
What did you think about the finish and the angle?
it was okay. It was okay. I do think it was also very good, perfect maybe, because if Sasha Banks or Mercedes Mone took this title from Julia Hart, I mean, she would get heat, not just heel heat or whatever. Like people would actually say, what the hell is going on? So I think taking her, it sucks that Julia was done the way she was done, but what can you do? You know what I mean? Also, you said Willow can call you later after this video. Chris Statlander can call me because she was looking good out there, man.
There you go. We can have a party.
We can have a party. Yeah. I like Chris Statlander. A lot of people I know don't like her, and I used to not like her either. Like I always saw some potential in her, but that alien gimmick was just doing her no favors. And like, it was basically the female equivalent of Orange Cassidy, and you can see even in this paper Orange Cassidy moving away from that stuff right now because I mean it was time. So it's good. I like this more serious Chris Statlander, and as a face again, she was kind of just floating out there, but I think she has that mean streak. Like I'm just gonna beat you, and like I'm just gonna win the match. That's all I care about. If she comes to me with that attitude, I like that. But I think she's just the next, basically food, or I don't want to use those terms. It's for Willow Nightingale. Throw it away from me. But Kenny,
Yeah.
I like the fact that you mentioned like back in NXT or like in the ring, Sasha Banks was always perfect in the WWE because we got to talk about this right here. We got to talk about this. Where did she go next? Does she go next year? Because Bailey, basically the middle child. Nobody likes her in WWE, and this is a perfect opportunity. I don't know when her contract is running out, but I mean, like she was always showing up for Mercedes
This guy.
Moné. I don't know. I don't know. It's, who knows?
Sorry. But yeah, she always shows up for Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, she
It looks
is.
like every time AEW has a show, Bailey's always there. We don't see Trinity this time.
No
Naomi?
Trinity, no Becky, no nothing. But these two, man, they're inseparable. So I feel like there might be more like concrete stuff here than we might think.
Oh well, they did go to Saudi. So were they back yet?
I don't know.
Maybe that's why they missed this match. But wow, Bailey didn't even go to Saudi. They're women's champion, man. It's crazy. They just do her so wrong. But yeah, man, I would like to see Bailey over there. And something else we got to talk about in another video is the fact that Tony Khan said he is interested in having a new set of titles that could definitely benefit this women's division. So we'll definitely get to that.
Oh, okay. He's got to stop tumbling first, man. What the hell was that?